Okay, welcome to my first video. My name is David Corbett, and I am currently the pipe major of a small band, new band in Jonesboro, Arkansas, and also the program director of another organization that I'm trying to get started in Memphis, Tennessee called Delta Pipes and Drums, dedicated and focused on youth under 18 and competition. The Jonesboro band that I'm a pipe major of is called the Northeast Arkansas Caledonians. It's a new band. Most of us are pretty much beginners. But anyway, here's my little disclaimer that I'm going to read at the beginning of each video. All the opinions in these videos are my own and not that of any other person, organization, band, or YouTube. I claim no expertise on any subject which might be contained in these videos other than that of my own experience. The purpose of these videos is to share what I've learned to date about playing the Highland bagpipes and drums. These videos are not a replacement for a competent instructor, which I cannot stress enough is required to properly learn to play the Highland bagpipes or drums. The viewer accepts all responsibility for how they use the material presented. Go Arkansas State University. Disclaimer out of the way. This first video is going to be a little bit of at least my thoughts on finding an instructor and choosing an instructor. Depending on where you live, there may be an abundance of world-class instructors. If you're in Ontario, if you're in Chicago, if you're in a college town, I mean, if you live in Batesville, Arkansas, it doesn't sound like it, but there's a world-class instructor out there. So look around and see if you can find someone locally. There may only be one, there may be several. If there is a band locally, check with the band. Most bands will give lessons. Those lessons may be free, or they may charge for them. 6 of one, half a dozen the other, as far as whether or not which works better for the band and gets them more people and more quality people. The ones that charge typically think if we charge, people have to pay for it. That which you pay for, you assign more value to and tend to work harder and stick with it. The flip side of that is you already have to buy some of your practice chanter and some other equipment. If we charge them for it, then they may not stick with it. It's up to that band. Okay, let's assume that there is a band. Go to the band practices and just see if you're comfortable with the people. Just figure out the personality of the band and see if you fit. If there's more than one band, visit each one of them. See which one you fit with the most. Some bands may be pure competition. That's all they do, is they compete. They can be very high pressure, very demanding. If you like that, if you thrive on that, that may be the band for you. Some are strictly what we call parade bands. They don't compete at all. There may not be a single person that competes solo, or has ever or wants to compete solo. All they want to do is parades and kirkings and birthday parties and those type of events. It's almost more of a club than it is more the competition type band. And then a lot of bands fall in the middle. They may be primarily a street band, parade band that competes once or twice a year. Or it may be a competition band that will do parades and other activities to raise funds so they can compete. If there's a band or more than one band, find one you're comfortable with. Once you're there, see if they assign an instructor or if you can kind of pick one. Find somebody you're comfortable with. I will say this about the bands that do not charge for the lessons themselves. Usually the agreement is if you take lessons from them for free and you get good enough, they train you well enough that you can join the band, play their tunes and join the band and contribute, that you will. Let's say that again. If they train you for free, the agreement normally is that you join the band for a reasonable period of time and contribute by playing with the band, especially those gigs that bring in money. So be sure you're aware of that and you agree with that. Okay, let's say that there's no band anywhere around within driving distance. You can check the Yellow Pages, you can check the internet. You can go to a website called bobdunsire.com, BOBDUNSIRE.com. There are forums. You can look in the teaching forum, the beer tent. There's 2 or 3 different forums within that list of forums. Basically, just get on there, register your name, and say, hey, I live here, I'm this old, I'm male, female, whatever, I'm looking for an instructor. And on those forums, there's over 12,000 people around the world. So it doesn't matter if you're in Czechoslovakia. If anybody is or knows of somebody anywhere close to you, they'll let you know and get back with you. So that's a great way to find an instructor, and a well-recommended one. If that's not, you can try that. There are also people that give lessons online. I can think of Scott McLeod, Yori Chisholm, John Cairns, and others that you can get a half-hour or 1-hour lesson. You schedule with them. These obviously cost, and these are all world-class, instructors and pipers. You can't get any better. Usually use Skype and do it that way. It works real well. Doesn't matter if you're a PC or Mac. Now, let's say that you've got 1 or more people local that you can get lessons from. We'll go back to that. What do you look for in an instructor? First of all, find somebody that wants to teach. Doesn't matter how good they play. If they don't want to teach, if they're not interested in teaching, they're not going to be a good teacher. If you have more than one person who is willing to teach, you can obviously look at how well they play. Do they compete? If they compete, what grade are they in? Most adults start at grade 4, and it goes up 4, 3, 2, 1, and open. Open is the best. So the higher grade level they are, the better they play, and obviously to do that, they have to know how to play well, and hopefully they can impart that to you. That would be one thing to look at. Doesn't necessarily mean that the best piper in the band is going to be the best teacher. Enthusiasm, make sure that they actually play competently, and so that's something you want to look at. You don't want somebody normally that's going to get agitated and frustrated real easy. You want somebody that's going to be very patient. Look at it this way. Would you want this person teaching your child? Not necessarily that you want them to treat you like a child, but if they would be good teaching a child, they're probably going to be a good teacher anyway. So I got to keep this to 10 minutes or less, and I think I've pretty much covered it. Find a local band, find a local instructor if you can, someone who plays well, who's interested in teaching. Do online lessons. You can do that on top of the local teacher. There are clinics you can go to, weekend clinics like in Shreveport, Louisiana on the Mardi Gras weekend. The Red River Pipes and Drums tend to have a weekend clinic that's not too expensive, and they bring in world-class instructors. Winter Storm in Kansas City during January. There are 5 separate one-week schools in Valley Crucis, North Carolina. Lyon College tends to put on a one-week school each summer. I know there's some in California and Ontario, over the Northeast, and over in Scotland. So maybe the best bet, if you can, is to find your local band, get an instructor there that you can see every week. Maybe add to that an online lesson with a Scott McLeod or a Yori Chisholm, and then go to 1 or 2 weekend or week-long clinics if you can each year to really round it out and get to know a lot of people. That's probably about all I've got on this one, and I'll see you on the next video.